All right, it's time for some SpaceX news.
Eli is reporting from Florida.
Welcome back to the Starman Report. I'm Eli Burton, your host, and today I am reporting from Kennedy Space Center. On day one of this 2-day NASA Artemis core stage arrival event, the NASA Pegasus barge navigated the channel into Kennedy Space Center carrying the core stage for the Artemis II SLS rocket. At the end of the morning, the Pegasus barge docked in preparation for its rollout and transfer to the Vehicle Assembly Building, also known as the VAB. We started early on day 2 as the NASA team began the nearly 3-hour process of rolling the core stage out of the hangar and down the road to the VAB for assembly of the SLS rocket. While the core stage was moving, I had the opportunity to interview the Artemis II mission manager, Matthew Ramsey, and ask him his thoughts about the progress of the SpaceX Starship development.
I mean, it's hard to argue with progress, right? I mean, you saw, I don't know if it's IFT, OFT 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever, and it's clear that they're making progress. They have some technologies ahead of them that they have to prove out. You know, the flights that we're seeing now are testing the airframe and the propulsion systems, and you know, the types of stuff that we did for Artemis 1. We shook the launcher out, we shook the spacecraft out, and they're in the middle of that right now. We are asking them to do a lot more than that. We're asking them to land on the lunar surface. And their ConOps is such that they have to do in-space refueling. That's never been done at that scale before. I feel pretty confident that we'll get there. That SpaceX will do a good job there. Blue Origin is also a lander contractor. They don't have the same ConOps. It's still a refueling type ConOps in space. That is, to me, one of the biggest hurdles that we have going forward is that in space refueling. So that's supposed to happen next year, and we'll see how that goes. I don't really have any knowledge on when exactly that's supposed to happen, but I believe it's next year. So we'll see the first attempt at a in-space transfer of propellant next year.
Orbital refueling is going to be a fun milestone in the moment of space exploration.
But it's science fiction-y. I mean, it's like, oh, well, this is a pretty cool deal. Them putting that into practice is going to be game-changing.
After my interview with Ramsey, I came outside to find that it was raining, but rocket photographer Danny Vieira toughed it out and captured this beautiful time-lapse of the core stage transfer. This event of the core stage rollout was just one of many moments in the lead-up of our return to the moon with the NASA Artemis program. And at a broader view of this whole mission, it's really exciting to see the government with NASA and SpaceX with private industry work together towards this common mission. Well, guys, that's all for this time. Thank you so much for watching this special Starman Report, and I look forward to having you back for more of the most exciting news in space.
Thanks, Eli. Guess what we got?
What?
We got a Starman coming.
Oh,
It's on the set right now.
nice.
You can get yours. Go to shadowovermars.com. And if you'd like to meet the real-life Starman, then you want to be at the Tesla store in Santa Monica on August 3rd from 1 to 2 p.m. We'll put the Eventbrite link down in the show notes. Oh, and don't forget, the first 500 attendees will get a free limited edition Starman comic.
Nice.
But there is more SpaceX news. Falcon 9 is back after the FAA paused launches while it investigated the second stage rocket failure to reignite.
And SpaceX says Falcon 9 lifts off from Pad 39A in Florida. Geez, that was fast.
Yeah.
So on July 11th, the Falcon 9's first stage with its mighty 9 engines performed flawlessly, but the second stage with its single engine didn't reignite properly, and so the Starlink satellites didn't reach proper orbit.
Okay.
SpaceX discovered that the culprit behind this was a little tube called a sense line. This tube, which helps with the liquid oxygen part of the rocket's engine, had a loose clamp. This led to the tube cracking and leaking liquid oxygen. SpaceX has decided to give the sense line and the pressure sensor a timeout for the next few launches. They're not essential for safety, and so they're getting benched. In the meantime, SpaceX is working on a new design under the FAA's watchful eye.
Okay. I bet the person who's supposed to tighten that clamp is looking for new work. And this latest Falcon 9 launched 23 Starlink satellites to orbit and then returned safely to just read the instructions drone ship.
And Falcon 9 just had the 300th reuse of a Falcon rocket boost stage.
That is amazing how quickly they got the problem figured out.
Yeah.
Elon said Starlink now operating on over 1,000 aircraft. Using Starlink on a plane feels like you're on a high-speed ground fiber connection. Dima says breathtaking view of Earth from the SpaceX Crew Dragon in orbit, because don't forget, there is a Crew Dragon at ISS, and I think you might need it to get those astronauts home. We're going to talk about that on Patreon bonus stories. Elon is now saying late August, early September, depending on the FAA's license, would be the Starship Flight 5. So basically, they're going to be ready in 2 weeks, but then they need FAA to give them permission. And by the way, just remember that when Starship is fully functional, it will cost 100 times less per ton than any existing solution. So, I mean, even Falcon 9. It is going to lower the price of getting stuff to space so that it's going to be phenomenal.
You got some junk? You want to put it in space? Get it out of there.
Call the junk guys.
Call Elon Musk.
And yeah, so if you don't know this, Butch Wilmore and Suni Williams are still on the International Space Station. They've supposed to be there for 8 days. It's now marking their 50th day because the Boeing Starliner spacecraft can't get them home. And Duvall said, not sure why Boeing, given their track record with passenger flights, is given such contracts when SpaceX, given their track record with launches, is just vastly superior.
And Elon says they have armies of lobbyists.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this on Patreon bonus stories. Hey, everybody. Thanks so much for watching Now You Know Clips.
You can watch full episodes of Tesla Time News on Tuesdays and in-depths on Fridays. Just click the link down below and head over to the Now You Know channel.